Hi, I'm State Senator Joe Markley, once again not at the Capitol, but on my own front porch to talk about politics a little bit for those who are interested. And let me say, if you're not interested, you don't want to receive these emails about the political landscape, there's an unsubscribe button on the page, the email that you received, and we would be happy to remove you from the mailings. We are looking at a Republican primary this Tuesday, just a few days, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that situation. And maybe I'll start by talking about the whole matter of supporting candidates. Uh, I've been in this business on and off for quite a while, over 30 years since I first got involved in politics. And it's unfortunate that one of the things that most provokes ill feeling between people who are basically on the same side, the same party or the same philosophy, is a decision to support one candidate over another. And I've found almost over time that I've disagreed with almost everybody I've known in one election or another. And I think that we have to be understanding about that we have to realize that all of us have our reasons and all of us have our personal reactions which might determine the way that we react to somebody as a candidate. And I think that they say that politics makes strange bedfellows, and that's certainly true. We need to keep in mind that although we may be on opposite sides, in this Tuesday, for instance, we are likely to be on the same side in November or in an election down the road. I guess I'd say also that the ideal candidate either never exists or rarely exists, that we're always going to be making allowances to some extent. I don't think that makes the choice into the lesser of two evils. An evil is when someone really is, a political evil, is when somebody really is on the other side and wants to go in a different direction that we believe would be destructive to our state, our country, our economy, our freedoms, whatever it is. There's people that are on our side that we might wish were more strongly on our side, that were more forceful in expressing themselves, that were more effective as campaigners, that were more likable people personally, whatever the problem is. That doesn't make them politically evil. I think the choice can still be very, very clear. And the essence of the choice, of course, is the choice between the Democratic and the Republican Party. Certainly anyone who's listened to me knows I don't claim the Republican Party is perfect or that Republican victory will bring heaven on earth. But I think that Republicans cohere as a party because they want to go in a direction which includes limited government, respect for personal liberty, and real fiscal responsibility. Those are the principles that motivate me in my efforts. So let me say a word about Tom Foley and the primary on Tuesday. As you may know, I have supported Tom Foley from the beginning of this campaign, really before he began the campaign. I was with him 4 years ago. I've got to know him some then. I've gotten to know him so much better since then. I felt essentially since the last election that he was going to be our candidate, that it was inevitable, and I still see it that way. I don't think the men that challenged him and the woman, Martha Dean, earlier in the campaign, were in a position to be able to take the nomination away from him. And I thought that he was a very credible candidate and a very credible man to put forward as governor. I have to say his background strikes me as being almost ideal for what we need to have happen at the state capitol over the next 4 years, to really restructure state government and enforce savings in a reasonable way, so make it really happen, not just to talk a good game. And above all, I know we must defeat Dan Malloy. Again, not for any personal reason, but because his vision of where our state should go, I think, is mistaken. I don't say that he's insincere. I think he's all too sincere in what he wants to accomplish. And the only way to stop him is at the polls in November. I think that it's been inevitable that Foley would be our candidate. And what I thought I could do that would be the most helpful would be, first of all, to strengthen Tom Foley insofar as I could with my support and with my advice, whatever else I could give him, and to be an advocate with him and with his campaign for clarity on issues that are important to me. as I've said, issues of personal liberty, of constitutional rights, of the proper functioning of government, of reduction of the size and cost and scope of state government. So I'm very much with Tom Foley. I'll vote for him on Tuesday. I expect he's going to win, and I will work with him for victory in November. I have liked what John McKinney has said during this campaign. Many people have mentioned to me that his ads have been very effective and his positions have been strong, and I've been happy to see that. And I like many things about John McKinney. Obviously, I've served with him for 4 years. He's a very intelligent man. He's a very humorous man, I might mention, something that I don't think everyone knows or appreciates. I've disagreed with him sharply on a few issues. I think that Tom Foley is more likely to be able to follow through on what he presents than John McKinney. And that's based to some extent on my personal experience of the men. It's based to some extent on Tom Foley's experience, too. I had the honor of giving his seconding speech at the Republican convention, and I mentioned his willingness to stand up to the legislature on ethics issues. He was quite roughly treated by a legislative committee last year testifying on a bill. And when I said to him afterwards that he had a bad time, he said, "This is nothing. I've dealt with warlords." And that stuck in my mind. This is a man who's had some very serious experience in difficult negotiations, and I think he could do it as our governor. I had a good friend in Prospect who said to me, "But what if after all this, Tom Foley is elected and he disappoints you? Won't you regret having supported him and regret the effort that you put into it?" First of all, I'd say any disappointment is a relative thing. Almost everybody disappoints me a little bit, myself included. So I don't expect perfection. But I would also say that Tom Foley has been, to my mind, the only choice all along. And if he isn't everything that we hope him to be as governor, I'll not feel that there was something better that I could have done. Certainly, I wasn't going to support Dan Malloy. I already know what I would get in that instance, and if I supported him, I'd deserve it. I'm with Foley, and I will do all I can to make him as good a candidate and as good a governor as we can. Finally, let me say before I sign off, I'll be back in a couple of days with another video to talk about the very contentious and competitive lieutenant governor's race. But I'm still raising money for my own campaign, as I mentioned last time. That's why the donate button is still up on the page. If you can help out, it would be very much appreciated. I don't know yet whether I have a petitioning opponent or not, but in either case, the resources that you contribute will permit me to get a message out that I think will strengthen the entire Republican ticket, including the excellent state representatives whose districts overlap with mine: Rob Sampson, Al Adinolfi, and Leslie Zupkis. So in the interest of the entire ticket, I hope you'll consider donating, and I thank you for your attention, and I'll look forward to a little more commentary, if you can stand it, in a couple of days. Thank you very much.